you may be wondering why we're spending so much time on anicca, on impermanence. Though the sands underneath our feet are shifting all the time, we actually tend to not notice very much. And we tend to not inquire further about its relevance or its import or impact even. So let's bring a little bit more deliberate attention to this experience of anicca by making use of the practice of contemplation and reflection. Contemplation is a deliberate recollecting of a statement in order to elucidate some point or aspect. And in meditation practice and mindfulness, reflection is used for setting up and orienting our attention at the outset of a meditation session. And in daily life, by dropping into the thought stream, an object for us to kind of muse around and play with as we move about our day, as we try to sort things out and make decisions. So reflection is also a kind of remembering, which in many ways is the hardest part of the practice. Remembering to remember, to bring mindfulness to mind. That's my definition of sati, right? But that deliberately bringing a reflection to mind is a mindfulness spell for us. It jars and wakes us up into a different perspective, hopefully. We train ourselves to see and relate from a more awake and aware position. So, in many ways, contemplation and reflection really fits our way of relating to the world. We're a top-down kind of folk. We're thinkers. We're accustomed to turning thoughts over in our mind. So why not turn over some phrases that might support our well-being? We're all different, with different strengths and different sensibilities, and therefore different practices will suit different people at different times for different purposes. Some of us approach life by how we feel in our bodies or by the emotional landscape. Others of us by thinking about things and analyzing and understanding and making meaning. Mindful contemplations strengthen understanding, compassion, and appreciation. So perhaps the most common reflection on impermanence is in the Upatthana Sutta, the Subjects for Contemplation Discourse. Now here we go. This is a content warning, content alert. At first pass, these reflections will sound scary, even though we know them to be true. They may still catch our breath, even though we know them to be true. Hold your knickers. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. The sutta starts with this line. There are these 5 facts that one should reflect on often, whether one is a woman or a man, lay or ordained. Which 5? In other words, whoever you are, regardless of gender or status, consider these statements frequently. Get ready. The first one, I am of the nature to grow old. There is no way to escape growing old. Number 2, I am of the nature to grow ill in health. There is no way to escape ill health. Number 3, I am of the nature to die. There is no way to escape death. 4, all that is dear to me and everyone I love are of the nature to change. There is no way to escape being separated from them. And number 5, my deeds are my closest companions. I am the beneficiary of my deeds. My deeds are the ground on which I stand. Okay, taken at face value, these are real downers. We don't want to look at these. But in fact, the Buddha intended them to be inspirations. Really. He says, yes, we all know we're going to die someday anyway, and we all know we're going to age and get sick. But don't these very statements also point to the preciousness of this ephemeral world, the fleetingness? As my uncle grew older, I found that I would frequently reflect, like when I was about to go visit him in Arizona, I would frequently reflect that this could be the last time that I would see him. And therefore, I'd pay closer attention to my time with him. And I appreciated all of the small moments of connection because I didn't know how long it would last, and I wanted to remember. These days, I do the same with my friends. We do the same, this pattern that Bill and I have when we wake up in the morning, we do a high five, we've just woken up. Part of it is recognition that it won't always be so. But there will be a day when one of us won't be here to say that and won't be here to slap palms and say, hey, we just woke up. So that awareness kind of suddenly jolts me into like, oh man, that's right. But in this moment, it's all happening. It's right here and I can appreciate it in this moment. Likewise, these days, when I get sick and I recover from being sick, oh man, I am so appreciative of this body's resilience. I am deeply appreciative that this body recovers, right? Impermanence. Now, can you see the implicit encouragement to appreciate and not waste this human life of ours? Buddha is saying, stay awake. Notice what's happening, what's important. Don't stress out about the things you can't control, but do consider how you relate to them. Do consider that. And boy, see the good things that are happening. See the simple blessings, appreciate them. When joy is present, when we're hanging out with our friends, when we wake up in the morning, appreciate that. Kiss that joy as it flies. It won't always be so, but it is right now. When sorrow is present and you notice that it's happening, how might you relate well? It too is impermanent. It won't last. Can we relate in such a way that we don't sink under the weight of it? Somehow think it's real and solid, it's going to last forever? It won't. Repeat this phrase. All that is near and dear to me, everything is changing. This too will change. This too. That's good news when we're faced with difficulty. These contemplations wake us up from our denial that life is going to go on forever or as usual, whatever our usual is, or long enough into the future that we don't have to think about it. They help us to consider what's important. In the end, it all matters, as Bill said. But where we place our attention matters greatly. How we place our attention with this finite life, with our finite attention. The conversation, Bill and I have this conversation frequently these days. What's important? Where do we want to place our attention, given that the days ahead of us are less than the days behind us? Right? Well, these kinds of reflections help us to consider how to be in right relationship with the unkind sales clerk, with the deadline at work, with the anniversary celebration, or the new medical diagnosis, or the unending to-do list. Okay, this was one of my revelations. So years ago, it was a Monday morning, and I was at work, and I was on Monday mornings, I would take whatever was left over from my to-do list from the week prior, and I would transfer it over to my new to-do list. And so I'm writing my new to-do list, and I had this flash, and I put it down. I put the pen down, and I thought, there will come a time, like the day I die, there will be things on my to-do list that I have not gotten done. And when I realized that, it was like, oh man, let me settle back here. I am running around like a hamster on a wheel. Why? I'm not going to ever get everything done. All right, let me really prioritize. Not just what my boss thinks is really important. What do I think is really important here? Let me focus on that. Oh, it was a game changer for me to have that revelation, because that changed then how I related to that to-do list. I'm not going to rush and get everything done. It won't ever get it all done. Okay, all right, let me settle back a little bit and let me appreciate the to-do list as I'm doing these activities. Let me appreciate the doings as I'm doing them, right? as Bill mentioned yesterday, what will we wish we'd spent more time doing when it comes to the end of our life? Good to consider this along the way, right? Consider that, since we can't escape death, maybe we can embrace and appreciate life as it's being lived. Maybe we can appreciate these bodies and this breath and this moment. And since we're going to get sick, well, maybe we can appreciate the health that this body has right now, to whatever degree the body has. Or appreciate, as I said, when we recover from being sick, right? Heck, can we recognize and appreciate the body enough when it needs help, right? Like wearing masks or taking medicine to support the body's health. These are things that are important, remembering to do that, because these bodies need attention in that way. They're living things, and they're going to wear out and break down. And since we're going to age, can we graciously acknowledge the changing condition of the body and give it the support it needs? Since we know we're going to be separated from all that we love, can we drink deeply of what's happening right before us, of the people that are before us, of the events that are before us, and try to live fully into that, right? And as we keep in step with our life, can we consider the impact? Can we consider what we leave in our wake? This is on us, what we leave in our wake. The result of our doings that ripple out behind us, the result of how we related, right? Yes, we're going to die. We're going to age, get sick, and we're going to die. Yes, we can't take our friends and our possessions along in the end. Everything will go. But while it's here, can we kiss the joy as it flies? Can we appreciate this precious human life just as it is? That's what he's asking us to do. All right. Thank you for your kind attention.